Hi, welcome. Today, I am going to explain about the film, Sound of Freedom. Spoilers ahead, watch out fully. Roberto, a less fortunate father of two living in Tegucigalpa, Honduras, is approached by Giselle, a former beauty queen. Giselle proposes to sign Miguel and Rocco, his young children, to contracts for child modeling. They are taken to the photo shoot after he accepts. But when he goes back to get his kids, they are gone. It is made clear that the kids were bought to be sex slaves. Tim Ballard is a special agent for the Homeland Security Investigations, HSI, in Calexico, California, where he makes arrests of those who have or are in possession of child pornography. His personal life is severely affected by the difficult task, and this is made worse when another agent, Chris, notes that while they have captured many child predators, they have not managed to prevent the exploitation of even one child. Although Chris's remarks stay with him, Tim adds that this is because the majority of them are in other nations. He pretends to be a pedophile while speaking to a predator he detained, Ernst Oshinsky. After gaining Oshinsky's confidence, he arranges a meeting with a trafficking youngster and is able to apprehend the man who bought the child. The youngster, who gives his name as Miguel, is saved by Tim. Tim makes friends with the kid and inquires of him for information in an effort to track down the other kids. Miguel informs Tim that his sister is still missing and begs him to find her. Roberto breaks down because his daughter is still missing after Tim makes arrangements for him to bring his son back. Before leaving with Roberto, Miguel offers Tim the St. Timothy necklace that belonged to his sister. Tim starts seeking for Rocco, which causes him to end up in Cartagena, Colombia. He talks with Vampiro, a former cartel accountant who is now dedicated to preventing child sex trafficking. Tim determines that this is the ideal pretext for obtaining many of Giselle's kids in a sting operation after reading about a child sex club in Thailand that was shut down. Jorge discovers that Rocco was sold as a slave to the Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia, who are encamped far into the Amazonian wilderness behind enemy lines, after questioning one of Giselle's accomplices. Tim is told by Jorge that there is no way to find the girl because the area is entirely uncharted forest wilderness, and the Colombian government prohibits flying over any rebel territory. Tim decides to masquerade as a doctor after Vampiro suggests that doctors can enter the area for medical reasons. Jorge reluctantly consents to the dangerous procedure. Tim must carry out the task by himself after Vampiro and Tim make an effort to enter enemy territory while wearing disguises. Tim enters the hostile camp where Rocco is being held with success. He finds out that she is being used as the rebel commander El Alacran's, also known as the Scorpion, personal sex slave, and that she is also being forced to crush coca leaves to make cocaine to pay for the rebels' conflict with the Colombian government. Tim succeeds in saving Rocco but is forced to murder El Alacran as a result. Tim barely manages to save Rocco and gives her the jewelry Miguel gave him earlier despite being shot at by the rebels. Finally, Rocio is given back to her brother and father, and the family departs for Honduras. Tim Ballard never resumed his job in federal law enforcement, according to the epilogue. He attributes the idea for Operation Underground Railroad, which still today saves children from sexual slavery, to his wife. He also succeeded in persuading the U.S. Congress to pass legislation requiring the U.S. government to work with other nations on sex trafficking investigations. More people are slaves today than at any previous period in history, including when slavery was legal, according to the epilogue. One of the largest consumers of child sex slaves is the United States, and many of these slaves are minors. You can download this movie by the link in the description. Comment your favorite sequence in this movie recap with time snaps. Thanks for watching this awesome recap. Subscribe for regular movie updates.